Hey guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to this new video. So in this video, we are going to create a GUI based calculator application in just 50 lines of code. So today we will create this beautiful application which will be doing some basic operations, basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtractions, multiplications and division. Okay, so for that, first of all, we need to open our PyCharm. So I have this code from my previous video. If you haven't watched it yet, then you can find the link of that video in the I button now. And if you haven't accessed my Python programming playlist, then you can find the link of that playlist in the description below. So with that said, now let us close this window. And here, what I will do is I will create a new Python file and I will name it as app. Okay, so this is our new Python file where I will import everything from tkinter. So let us import everything from tkinter, and then what I will do is I will set my root equals tk, then I will set my root dot main loop. Okay, so with that we should be able to close our window with using that X button in the right top corner of that window. So let me show you. So you can now close your window with using this X button. Okay, so we can close that window. So now what we will do is, here what I will do is I will create my resolution for that window. Okay, so here what I will do is I will set root dot geometry. Okay, so root dot geometry, and I will set it to 300 by 500. Save it, and now let's run the code. So as you can see, we have this window which is something like our calculator. Now what we want here is we want the entry widget which will show our values which we have entered, or the equation. It will show us the equation basically. So we want that, and we want the grid layout of buttons. So we want buttons like, let me show you. So we want buttons like this: 321, 987 and all of those buttons. So we want that. So for that, what I will do is, first of all, I will set the title of my window to, let's say, my calculator. Okay, so then what we will do is we will create our frame layout. Okay, so here I will say frame for entry widget. Okay, so we have this frame for our entry widget now, and here what I will do is I will create a frame, let's say entry frame, or I will say f1 is equals to frame, and this frame will be packed inside that root, and this frame. Okay, so I will pack this frame here, and what I will do is I will pack the entry here. So for that entry I will use a variable query, and I will use entry which will be packed in this f1 frame, and it will okay, so we will simply do that for now. Okay, we will pack this and we will do that for now just. Okay, so now if I will run this code, you can see we have this entry here where we can type. Okay, or where we will show our equations like this: 25 plus 90. Okay, so just like that we will show our expressions there, or our operations there. So now we have this simple entry, but now I want this entry to have bigger. Okay, so I want this entry to have a bigger size. So for that, what I will do is, here I will add a font which will be equal to, let's say, Helvetica, and the size should be, let's say, 22. Now let me save it, and now let me run it. So as you can see, we have this bigger entry now, but now this entry is bigger than our window, and that's why, for that, what I will do is, here, while packing this query or this entry widget, I will add a padding in X, let's say 5, and padding in Y, let's say 10, and I will also do one thing. I will say fill equals to X. Okay, so save it, and now let us run this code. So now as you can see, we have this entry widget here which will have this padding. Okay, so we have this entry widget with this padding now. Okay, so now what I want next is I want those buttons, and for that, now I will create all those buttons here. Okay, so for that, what we will do is we will create another frame. Let's say grade 1, okay, or button grade 1, button grade 1, okay. So you can do the same with using the dot grid layout instead of using this dot pack layout, but I will go with this dot pack layout because it is much easier to explain and much easier to render our elements, okay. So here what I will do is I will create my first frame, okay. So this is my first frame, grid 1 equals to frame, which will be packed in this root. And what I will do is I will duplicate this, okay, and we will create frame 1, frame, okay, or grid 1, grid 2 and grid 3. I will pack these grids like this, grid 1 dot pack, okay. So now we have these 3 frames, or let us simply create first frame right now, okay. So we have this first frame, let me show you stepwise, okay. And in this frame I will render my button, okay. So this button will be packed in this grade 1, then it will have a text like let's say 1 or let's say 9, then it will have the command, okay. We will set the command later on. So now I will use pack method, and in this pack method I will give padding equals to let's say 1, and padding in y equals to let's say 2, okay. So this should be padding x and padding y, okay. So this is our first button. Now let us run this code. So here as you can see we have this 9. Now let us create 3 similar buttons like 9, 7 and 9, 8 and 7. So for that I will duplicate this and 9, 8, 7, okay, save it. Now let us run this code. So as you can see we have these 3 buttons in vertical alignment. We don't want that, we want these buttons to be aligned horizontally. And for that what I will do is here I will use this side. I will set this side equals to left, and you can use this multi cursor which I am currently using with shift control alt and clicking on multiple lines, okay. So you can do that. So now let us save it and now let us run our code. So as you can see we have these 3 buttons 9, 8, 7, and I think this should be 7, 8, 9, okay. And for that what I will do is I will use 7, 8 and 9 here, okay. So now our calculator will have these 3 buttons. Now similarly just like this we will create 2 more grids, and for that I will simply copy this first grid, paste this here and paste this there again, okay. So we have these 3 grids now. So this is our button grid 2. Now I will use this, okay. So here, and I will change this to grid 2, then I will select these elements like this, okay, and I will change that to button grid 3. Now let us save it, okay, and now let us run the code. So now we have this type of layout, and we should also change the text on each button. So this is our 7, 8, 9, then this should be okay, so this should be 1, 2 and 3, okay, or this should be 1, 2 and 3 like that. Then this should be 4, 5 and 6, and this should be 7, 8, 9, okay. So save it and now let us run this code. So as you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is something that we want. But now I also want these buttons to have a bigger size, okay. So for that we have height and width property on those buttons. So let us use that as well, okay. So here what I will do is I will use multi cursor and I will select all those elements, okay. So just like that, and here I will add height equals to 4 and width equals to 7. I have already tested those values and that's why I'm directly using these values. But what you can do is you can set height to a value and width to another value, and then you can check that is that the size that you want, and if you want that size then those are the values for you. If you don't want that then you can trial and test that again and again. So now let me run the code again. So as you can see we have these buttons right now, and I have left this space here because I also want the buttons like equal to sign, our addition, subtraction, division and all those signs, and for that, and we also want a 0 button here. So for that we have this space here, and I have left this space for that. So now what I will do is I will first of all make sure that each button will do something after clicking that button. So what we will do for that is we will add a command. Okay, so here what I will do is I will create a function, and the function will be press. The name of the function will be press, and here I will get a character when we press this button. So what I will do is I will simply print that character right now. Okay, and I will now bind all of these buttons with that specific function. Okay, so now what I will do is I will use this command here. Okay, so here I will add this command which will be equal to, now here what I will do is I will create this command. Okay, what I can do is I can say press, and then I can pass in that, but for that what I will do is I will use lambda functions. Okay, and here I will use press, and not I will not use, I will specifically write that, and here I will enter those values 7, 8, 9, then 4, 5, 6, then this will be 1, 2 and 3. So now let me run this code again. I think there is an error. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, save it, and now let us run this code. So now if I will click 9, you will see that 9 printed over here because of this character or because of this press function. So we can now print whatever button we are clicking, so we are now able to print something. Okay, so now what I want is we want to set this entry widget, or we want to set the text of this entry widget equal to this character. Okay, so for that what I will do is here what I will do is I will add a text variable, and this text variable will be equal to, let's say, text value. Okay, and we will also create that text value here. So text value is equals to a string var. This is our string variable text value. And now what we can do here is, before the printing this, what we can do is we can use text value dot get. Okay, so we will get all those values, or we can basically use set. Okay, so let me show you what happens when we set this, and I will use equation equals to text value dot set. Okay, and then we can print this equation directly. Okay, so now this will work differently than we expect. So let me show you. So if I will add 90 or no 9 here, so as you can see we get none here. Okay, so that's not something that we want. Okay, right, so for that what I will do is here. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so here what we are doing is we have bound this text variable equals to text value, and this text value is a string var, and then what we are doing is we are setting this string var. Okay, so let me delete this. We will simply do text value dot set. We will simply set this character to that string var, and we will simply print that character here. Okay, so now let me run it. Now if I'll enter 9, as you can see we get 9, but now as soon as I will enter another number, this 9 will be deleted. So if I'll enter 5, so as you can see our 9 is now disappeared. So for that what should we do is we should get the text first. Okay, so we should get the existing text, so we should get the existing text that we have, and then we can add our text or our character. Okay, so we will convert this into a string, and we will get our character, and then we will set this equal to a equation. Okay, and then we can simply print this equation here. Okay, so we can print equation here, save it, and now let us run it. So now here if I will enter 9, okay, we get 9 here. Okay, and we also have to set that, right? So for that what we will do is we will use set, and we will set the equation here, save it. So currently it is not working, so if as soon as I will save it and I will run it, you can see that now if I'll hit 8, you will see 8 here. If I'll hit 7, you will see 87 here. Now 9, 8, 7, 9. Okay, so as you can see our value is now perfect. Okay, so we can get these values like that. Okay, So now what we want to do is we will add another buttons like our equal to button, our plus minus and all those buttons. So for that what I will do is I will duplicate this and I will add, let's say, a minus button here. Okay, so I'll add minus button and the text will be minus as well. Okay, then here what I will do is I will duplicate this button and here I will add another button, let's say plus. Then here we will have the text equal to plus as well. Then we will add another button, let's say we want divide, and for that we will add that divide here like that, and this text will be divide as well. Okay, or we can add this. Okay, so we'll add this slash here, then we will add the multiplication sign. And now let us first of all check what do we have here. So let us run this code. So we have these three buttons right now. Okay, so we will handle what will happen after clicking those buttons, after clicking equal to and all that. But now what I will do is I will create a 0 here. Okay, then I will create a point here, then I will create, or a decimal here, then I will create a multiplication or equal to here. Equal to will be here, and here I will have let's say what we will have a clear button. So or we will create a clear button down there. Okay, so for that now what I will do is I will create another grid layout just like that, and here I will change the name of that grid layout to grid 4. Okay, so we'll change this grid 3 to grid 4, and now this will have text like our 0 button. Okay, so we will have text for our 0 button like that. Then our second button will be a point, so we'll add that point here. Okay, so that will be our point button. Then we will have our another text like what do we want there is we want our text to be a multiplication button, and we want this here as well. So I am adding more features here, and that's why our code is getting bigger and bigger. If you won't add these things like point, then a clear button, then this code will be much shorter. Okay, so I am adding those features as well. So here we have these buttons. So let me run this code first. So as you can see, we have 0 point multiplication and this slash, which we don't want here. Instead of that we want equal to sign, so we'll add this equal to here, and I will also use foreground color for that to be okay. So the font color to be, let's say, green. Save it, and now let us run it. So this is green now, and I will also use font equals to bold. We'll use bold here. Save it, and now let us run it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add this comma here, save it, and now let us run it. So this is now bold, but the size of the button is bigger, so let us remove that. Okay, for now we will have this green color here, and instead of this multiply we will use this X here. Save it, and now run it. So as you can see, we have this multiply here. Okay, but let us keep it this asterisk and save it. Okay, now we want a clear button as well. So for that I will create this fifth grid. Okay, so I will create this fifth grid here. So grid 5 dot pack. Okay, so I will pack this and I will use grid 5. Okay, so in this what I will create is I will use this another button. I will create another button which will be packed in grid 5, which will have text equal to okay clear, then it will have height to be 4 and width to be let's say 8 or 12, and then it will have a command equal to lambda press. We'll press C here. Okay, we'll pass the C there, and then we will pack that similarly just like this. Okay, So we'll copy this and we'll paste that here. But now what we will do is we'll keep the padding from x to be 1 and padding from y to be 2. That's right. But here we will add fill equals x as well. Save it, and now let us run it. So we get this button which is much bigger, and we want the size to be less than this. So for that I will use the height to be, let's say, 2, and width to be, let's say, 20. Save it, and now let us run it. So we get this button like that. We want the width to be, let's say, 27. Save it, and this text, let us make it capital with a color of red. Okay, save it, and now let's run it. Now we get this button like that, and I think the button should be let's say 34. Save it, and now let's run it. Yep, so I think 33 is good. Okay, so our button is looking good now. Now our calculator is looking good. Now what we will do is we'll add all of these signs, like what will happen when we click on this equal to. So currently nothing is happening, and this equal to should be like this. Now what should happen when we press equal to? We will do that. Okay, so here what we will do is we will say if character is equal to this equal to sign. If that's the case, then what we will do is we will set this equation. Okay, so let us take this equation from here. Oops. So let us take this equation from here up. Okay, so this should be inside of that. So let us cut it from here. Now let us paste it here. So if equation is like this, okay, so we won't do that. If that's the case, then what we will do is we'll use eval method, and what we will do is we'll pass that equation there. So we'll pass that equation there, and here what I will do is I will set this equation to eval equation, and then we'll set the equation to equation again. But now what this equation is, so this equation is text value dot get plus str, that means string. Okay, so character converted to the string. Okay, but now what if we press clear? We'll see all of that text there. Okay, so we don't want that as well. So I will add another if check here. So if, okay, so if character is equal to let's say or what I will do is this, what I will do is I will create characters equals to a list. Which characters do we have? We have equal to sign, we have plus sign. We want to show this plus sign as well. Okay, so we'll show that plus sign. We have C for clear. So if those characters are there, if we want to avoid these characters, what I will do, if character in chars, so if character in chars, if that's the case, then what we will do is we will basically, if equal to is there, then we will do this, and if clear is there, we will do another thing. So we don't want that here. Okay, as well. So if character is equal to, let us handle for C. If character is equal to C, if that's the case, then what we will do is we will set equation equals to text value, or instead of setting the equation, we will set text value dot set, and we will set it to empty string like that. Now let us cut it, and let's paste that here. Save it, take that up one level. Okay, like that, and now let us run it. So now let us check what is happening here. So if I will add 98 minus 65, if I will hit equal to, we are getting this error because we don't want to include this equal to in this eval. Okay, so for that what I will do is, if equal to is there, we won't add that. Okay, so here I will check that if character is equal to our C, and character is not equal to, let's check that character is not equal to C and not equal to this equal to sign as well. Okay, so if that is not equal to this, then and only then we will add that there. Now let's save it, and now let us rerun the code. Now let us rerun the code. If I will add 78 plus 25, if I'll hit equal to, we are still getting that error. So what is the error there? Equation is referenced before assignment. Okay, so this equation is now referenced before the assignment. Okay, so we have equation here, we have equation here. So what I will do is I will set the equation equal to empty string here, and I will use global keyword. Okay, global equation, and now I think we should be able to use this equation there. Now let's run it again. 78 plus 45, hit equal to, we get 123. If I'll hit clear, we should be able to clear this as well. And for that, what I will do is I will move this, okay, here, and now what we will do is we will remove these extra lines, save it. Now let us run it again. So if I'll add some numbers like that, if I hit clear, okay, we should be able to clear this. So for that, what we will do, we'll check for this clear. Okay, so we are passing this C here. So if we are pressing this clear button, we should get this C, and if C is there, then what we'll do is we'll check, what we'll do is we'll use this text value dot set, and we'll set it to empty string. Then why is that not happening? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll also set the equation. Okay, so we'll also set the equation to empty string as well. Now let us run it. So if I'll add 89 plus 25, and if I'll hit clear, we are getting this deleted. Now if I'll add 7 plus 5, we should get 12. If I'll add 129 plus 1, we will get 130. If I will add 130 divided by 13, we should get 10. If I will add 10.0 plus 12 point, okay, so not this, so let me delete it, 12.5, and if I'll hit equal to, we will get this 22.5. If I'll add 9, okay, if I'll clear it, we will get this window, or we will get this entry widget cleared. Now we can create this type of calculator. So we have this type of calculator, and I think this height should be less than this 500. So for that, what I will do is I will set it to 400 and let's say 20. Okay, so save it, and now let us run this code. So yes, that's the height that we want, and you can change the color of this calculator as well. So for that, now let us change the color. So what we can do is we can set root.config, we can configure the color. So we will set bg equals to, let's say, orange, and now we will also have to change the color of frame, or else we will get this type of color which we don't want. So for that, we have to change the color of each of that grid layouts, and I will not do that. We have this type of calculator right now which is working perfectly for me. So now I will remove this. Okay, save it, and I think this calculator is looking good as well. So this is the calculator that we have created. We can reduce the width as well. So now let us do that. So instead of 300, let us make it 275. Okay, so 275, save it, and now let's run it. So yes, so that is our calculator which is working perfectly. So 6 into 2 equals to 12. We can also manually enter values, like so. Just like that, you can create your own GUI based calculator. So in this video, we have learned a lot about grid layouts, about packing the elements, about side, and about different binding methods. Okay, so we have bound all of those buttons to a function, and we have created this beautiful calculator in just 65 lines. 60 lines is great. So we have our calculator which is functioning properly in just 64 lines. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in the next video.